Hey folks, in today's Conundrum we will cover the case of Harold Frederick Shipman Jr., also known as Fred Shipman, an English general practitioner and notorious serial killer. He is regarded as one of history's most prolific serial killers, with an estimated 250 victims. Shipman was convicted in 2000 for the murder of 15 patients under his care and was sentenced to life imprisonment with a whole life order. Tragically, at the age of 57, he ended his own life by hanging in his prison cell on January 13, 2004. The Shipman Inquiry, chaired by Dame Janet Smith, extensively investigated Shipman's crimes over a 2-year period. It revealed that Shipman specifically targeted vulnerable elderly individuals who trusted him as their doctor. His victims met their demise through either a fatal dose of drugs or the prescription of abnormal amounts. Shipman gained nicknames such as Dr. Death and the Angel of Death. Notably, he remains the only British doctor to have been convicted of murdering patients, while other doctors faced different legal outcomes, including acquittal or conviction on lesser charges. Welcome back to Conundrum, where we delve into the minds and history of serial killers. If you like this type of content, please subscribe, and put the notifications bell on so you don't miss any of my future uploads. Thank you for being here. Harold Frederick Shipman Jr. was born on January 14, 1946, in Nottingham, England. He grew up on the Bestwood estate, a council estate, as the second of 3 children to working-class parents, Harold Frederick Shipman Sr. and Vera Britton. Shipman's parents were devout Methodists, and he had a talent for rugby during his youth. In 1957, Shipman passed his 11+ examination and enrolled at High Pavement Grammar School in Nottingham. He excelled as a distance runner and held the position of vice captain on the school's athletics team. Shipman shared a close bond with his mother, who unfortunately passed away from lung cancer when he was just 17 years old. Her treatment involved the administration of morphine at home, which would later become Shipman's own method of choice. Shipman witnessed the relief his mother experienced from the pain, even in the face of her terminal illness, until her death on June 21, 1963. On November 5, 1966, Shipman married Primrose May Oxtoby, and they went on to have 4 children together. Shipman pursued his medical education at Leeds School of Medicine, University of Leeds, and successfully graduated in 1970. Shipman worked at Pontefract General Infirmary before becoming a GP at the Abraham Ormerod Medical Center in Todmorden in 1974. The following year, he faced consequences for forging prescriptions of pethidine and attended a drug rehabilitation clinic. Shipman then practiced as a GP at Donnybrook Medical Center in Hyde. In the 1980s, he continued his GP career in Hyde and established his own surgery in 1993, earning respect from the community. Shipman was interviewed in 1983 for a documentary on mental health treatment, which resurfaced after his murder conviction and was later rebroadcasted. In March 1998, concerns were raised by Linda Reynolds of the Brook Surgery in Hyde regarding the alarming death rate among Dr. Shipman's patients. Reynolds specifically pointed out the large number of cremation forms requiring her countersignature for elderly women. Despite an investigation, the police lacked sufficient evidence to press charges and closed the case in April. The subsequent Shipman inquiry blamed the Greater Manchester Police for assigning inexperienced officers to the investigation. Tragically, Shipman went on to claim the lives of 3 more individuals after the inquiry's conclusion. In August of the same year, taxi driver John Shaw approached the police, suspecting Shipman of murdering 21 patients. Shaw's suspicions stemmed from the disturbing pattern of seemingly healthy elderly customers dying while under Shipman's care. Shipman's final victim, Kathleen Grundy, a former mayor of Hyde, was discovered dead in her home in June. Shipman, who was the last person to see her alive, recorded the cause of death as old age on her death certificate. However, suspicions arose when solicitor Angela Woodruff, Grundy's daughter, learned that a will had been created, excluding her and her children, but leaving a significant sum to Shipman. Woodruff reported the situation to the police, prompting an investigation. Upon exhumation, traces of diamorphine, a painkiller often used for terminally ill cancer patients, were found in Grundy's body. Shipman attempted to defend himself by claiming Grundy was an addict, but police scrutiny revealed that Shipman had fabricated entries in his medical journal after her death. Shipman was subsequently arrested in September 1998. The discovery of a typewriter similar to the one used to forge Grundy's will added weight to the mounting evidence against him. As the police delved deeper into the case, they uncovered a disturbing pattern of Shipman administering lethal doses of diamorphine, falsifying medical records, and signing death certificates to mask his crimes. Looking back, in 2003, David Spiegelhalter and others suggested that better statistical monitoring could have raised alarms as early as 1996, with a significant excess of deaths in elderly females. Such monitoring might have led to the detection of Shipman's malevolent actions, potentially preventing further loss of life. Dr. Harold Shipman's trial commenced on the 5th of October 1999 at Preston Crown Court. He faced charges for the murders of 15 women, all of whom had received lethal injections of diamorphine between 1995 and 1998. Shipman's defense team attempted to have the Kathleen Grundy case tried separately, as her alleged forged will provided a motive. After 6 days of deliberation, the jury found Shipman guilty on 15 counts of murder and 1 count of forgery on the 31st of January 2000. Mr. Justice Forbes sentenced Shipman to life imprisonment for each murder, with a recommendation for a whole life tariff. He also received a 4-year sentence for forging Grundy's will. Shipman was struck off the medical register by the General Medical Council 11 days after his conviction. The judge's whole life tariff was confirmed by Home Secretary David Blunkett 2 years later. Shipman consistently denied his guilt and refused to make any public statements regarding his actions. His wife, Primrose, also maintained his innocence, even after his conviction. Shipman's case stands as the only instance in British medical history where a doctor has been found guilty of murdering patients. In a tragic turn of events, Shipman took his own life on the 13th of January 2004 at HM Prison Wakefield. He hanged himself using his bed sheets, and his death was confirmed later that morning. The news of his suicide evoked mixed reactions among the victims' families and the public. Shipman's motives for taking his life remain unclear, though financial concerns and the loss of his NHS pension may have played a role. Following his death, Shipman's body was taken for a post-mortem examination, and an inquest was opened and adjourned. The suicide sparked debates about the state of UK prisons and the welfare of inmates. While some newspapers condemned Shipman as a cold coward, others took a more celebratory stance. His widow, Primrose, received a full NHS pension, and Shipman's cremation took place in secrecy, attended only by her and their 4 children. The suicide brought an end to Shipman's reign of terror, leaving unanswered questions and a sense of unresolved closure for the victims' families. Harold Shipman's crimes had a profound aftermath that brought significant changes to medical procedures and death certification practices in the UK. The Shipman inquiry, concluded in 2002, revealed that Shipman likely killed at least 218 patients over a 23-year period. These findings led to what is now known as the Shipman effect, with doctors altering their dispensing practices and increased scrutiny on death certifications. The General Medical Council, GMC, charged several doctors who had signed cremation forms for Shipman's victims with misconduct, but they were later found not guilty. The inquiry also recommended reforms to the structure of the GMC. Shipman's crimes had a lasting impact on the victims' families, with investigations into stolen jewelry from his victims and the establishment of a memorial garden, the Garden of Tranquility, in Hyde Park. The case received widespread media attention, resulting in dramatizations, documentaries, and even satirical portrayals. However, some of these media depictions faced criticism for their insensitivity and lack of new insights. The emotional toll on the victims' families remains, with many still seeking compensation for their losses. The legacy of the Shipman case serves as a reminder of the importance of vigilance in the medical profession and the need for safeguards to protect patients. It sparked significant changes in medical practices and the way deaths are certified, aiming to prevent similar tragedies in the future. Thank you to all who have stuck with me until the end of the video.